And now we enter what is probably the worst level in Super Mario World. Welcome to Tubular. Tubular is a bad level. Bad level. We hates it. And what we're going to do is hit this P-switch, and then hit this block, and then get this P-balloon, and now we're fat and flying around. And if you get hit, you die. Holy smokes, is this level terrible. There are some bad levels here in the special stages, and we're very, very far away from the top secret area. Which is weird, because you would think that the special stages are the top secret area, but you'd be wrong in that assumption. We want to hit that going up, so we don't dive down so low, and we can get up and around, because there's a timer on this balloon thing. Whew! We ducked under that lava bubble. It was fine. It was fine. I think we need to get under this nerd. And not get punted by his friend, either. Okay. So far, so good. If I get this level on my second try, that'll be the first time I've ever done that in my life. Holy bananas! I told you guys I was super pro at Mario World, and y'all didn't believe me. It's like, he doesn't even know where the exit is in that Donut Plains cave that he got lost in for an hour. Alright, that's the worst level in the game. Not the hardest level in the game by any means, but the worst. It's behind us now. We can move on. So in Way Cool, I think we want to stick to this middle path here. If we go down too low, we'll end up in the hole. And if we go too high, that was going to happen, right? If we go too high, it loops backwards, which isn't what we want either. So staying... Ooh, we're on the bottom. I don't know that I like the bottom. We going up? We're going up. No, it's going backwards. Oh, no. Okay. Well, we're going this way now. Welcome to this way. Oh, geez. I mean... Well played, Way Cool. Well played, sir. Can't argue with that, I suppose. I think we... You know, let's just try going up. Let's skip the first two. I think we want to hit this one, and then hit this one, so we're not on the very top path. I think the very top path is... Yeah, you see it goes straight up and loops all the way back around to the beginning of the level. Oh, this... You know, no, this is fine. This pipe... I have a good feeling about this pipe. I have a real good feeling. Oh, look who's here. Look who is chilling. Ooh, baby. Get me out of here. This is the other way you can get a blue Yoshi, by grabbing these Yoshi wings, going to this bonus level. Typically, they put these Yoshi wings in stages where, like, it's not really possible to complete with Yoshi. So they give you the wings as a consolation, so you don't have to abandon your Yoshi. There's a couple levels like that. Speaking of abandoning Yoshi... Alright, calm down. Calm down, guys. This doesn't seem fair. So, they actually treat the blue shells differently, too. Like, I think if I just set this down, he'll jump into it. No, he kicks it. Oh, maybe because he's a red... He's like a naked red Koopa, and red Koopas like to kick their abandoned shells? Or is it the yellow shells they jump into and become rainbow shells? Koopa biology is a very interesting field. Filled with very interesting turtle facts. Woo! Well, man thought he had me. He really did. Please be something I can use. Oh, it's all slippery here! Oh my goodness, all the blocks are slippery. So, Mario World doesn't have ice blocks, so to speak. It just has, every level, individual level has a flag. And if a level is flagged as an ice level, every surface in the level is slippery, even if it's not ice. So I expected that to not be slippery, and then it was slippery. And that's my sad story. That's the sad story of Brickroad in the ice level in Mario World. It's sad because it's true. All true stories are sad. I've been obsessed with a particular sad set of stories recently, actually. Yes, that's what I thought was in there. Great and good. So we're in good shape now. Provided I don't fall into a hole. Woo! No, we're fine. We're fine. Oh no! Oh! I could have course corrected onto that Koopa if I wasn't Starman right there. I've been obsessed with reading articles and stories and YouTube videos about the dead bodies that are left behind on Mount Everest because, like, some relatively high percentage of people that attempt to climb Mount Everest don't make it up the mountain. Like, there's a portion of the mountain called the Death Zone. It's not a portion of the mountain, it's a portion of, like, the Earth's atmosphere. Over 25,000 feet, I want to say. I don't know what that is in meters, if you're, like, a meter kind of person. I'm sorry. But yeah, I want to say over 25,000 feet, the death zone. The idea is, like, your body requires oxygen to survive. That's why you breathe. You take oxygen into your body, and then the oxygen goes into your blood and does all kinds of, like, weird oxygen things. I need to bounce off this Koopa's head. Just like so. Oh, yeah. But above 25,000 feet in elevation, there's not enough oxygen in the air to sustain your body. So what happens is your body starts to shut down and you start to feel tired. You know, like when you go out for like a long run or something? Not that I would know what that feels like. But when you run for any length of time and you start breathing really heavily, it's that reflex is your body trying to suck more oxygen into your brain so you can function. And it's also why resting feels really good when you're tired. It's not just resting your muscles, it's also, oh, we need to get our oxygen levels back up. So I probably want what's in that Q block back there. In fact, let's go get it. I need that shell. I need that shell, and the man inside the shell needs to just feck off. I knew I needed what was in that shell. Boom shakalaka. We're Yoshi now. So what happens to people on Mount Everest is they start running out of oxygen, and then they feel tired, and then the problem is, though, if you sit down and rest while you're climbing Mount Everest, you don't actually feel any relief from the rest, because there's not enough oxygen in the air for you to receive any rest from. So while normally, like, sitting down to catch your breath is a good idea if you're out of breath, in this particular situation, it's a terrible idea because there's not enough oxygen for you to catch your breath. All you're going to do is die by lack of... This is a terrible situation for me to be in. You're going to die from all of the baseballs swarming in orbit around the summit of Mount Everest. So because of how many people die trying to climb this mountain, and because of the sheer number of people that make the attempt, like some 100 or so people every year will try to attempt to climb this mountain. Actually, this is the level that's easier if you don't have Yoshi, because I think these Pokies don't spawn with 5 segments. I think they spawn with 3. But more people die on Mount Everest than in most any other kind of extreme tourism place on Earth. I think that's true. I think that's a true statement. Yeah, see, this one only spawned with 3 for the brief second I was off Yoshi, but whatever. Yoshi's hungry. Yoshi's gots to eat. But all the same reasons that make Mount Everest just very difficult and challenging to climb, and like the whole death zone thing, also makes it very challenging to... I almost bought the farm, the Piranha Plant Farm right there. It makes it very challenging to recover bodies from people who die there. So if you die climbing Mount Everest, they just leave your butt there in the frozen wastes, and then eventually you get mummified by the constant exposure to sun and wind over the years, and that's the story of you. This guy's not fair. I don't have a plan for that guy. I don't have a way to keep a shell that long either, I don't think. No, you can't. It'll decay in your mouth. Why did I shoot the shell that way? You know what? I think we're just going to plan to damage boost through that. That's another one of those speedrunner phrases that doesn't really mean what it says anymore. Kind of like auto-scroller. Speedrunners will use the term damage boost anytime you take an intentional hit in order to save time. Whereas the original phrase, I think it came from literally from Super Metroid specifically, because in that game, not only can you use your iframes to get through dangerous obstacles, but the actual hit, like knockback of your damage, you can manipulate it in interesting ways and go much faster. Samus travels much faster if she's damaged traveling backwards than she does moving forwards. And that's where the phrase damage boost originally came from. Nowadays it just means any intentional hit you take. So yeah, if you go to climb Mount Everest, there's like a 5% chance that your body will just become a landmark on Mount Everest for future climbers. And there's this like whole subculture of people who like collect articles and like photos from the mountain. You know what we can do, actually? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna eat all these guys, and we're gonna eat this guy, and we're gonna eat this guy. And then we're gonna wait for these baseballs to be off screen. And then we're gonna fly like an eagle. What am I stuck on? Why did the flying not work? There, whatever. That was fine. That was a damage boost. Kind of. Took me 2 damage boosts to get through that. I don't remember why I started talking about Mount Everest, though. I think while I was waiting for the previous video to process, I just started watching a bunch of Everest videos or something on the YubaTubes. In any event, that's probably a good Q block to get there, but eventually this water level is going to start going up. And that's how, yeah, that's how we're going to get this Q block. Get on my face, fish! I knew that was a good Q block, and I do not regret going for it. The only thing I regret is dying on Mount Everest and leaving a terrible mummified corpse. I feel like that'd be a tremendously cool way to, like, commit suicide, though. Like, no, like, hear me out, hear me out. I know you're gonna click off the video because nobody wants to hear me talk about suicide, but hear me out. Like, say you've decided to do this, and say you're independently wealthy, and you can kill yourself by any method in the universe, anything you want. Like, why not get, like, a hilariously offensive, like, snowsuit, like, jacket, or, like, boots or something made, and then just go die in the death zone on Mount Everest. So then, every other climber that comes up behind you, the new landmark is, yeah, you just go to the guy that has, you know, the trollface.jpg on the bottom of both of his boots laying there, and then take a right, and that's how you get to the summit. It's not how I would choose to go out. I've never been, like, knock wood, I've never been in a mindset where I've thought about ending it all, but I have thought about the most, like, if I'm gonna do it, it's because I'm angry at the world. This is the hardest level in Super Mario World. Speaking of worlds, this is it. This is outrageous. This level is outrageous, and the name is pretty apropos. I think I would do it. I would have to maximize the human suffering of whoever's job it is to clean up after me. So I'm thinking headfirst into a wood chipper would be a good way to make that happen. This whole level is terrible, but I actually do need this spring for the end of it. And the Bango Bobs are just everywhere. These Bullet Williams just infesting the whole level. And there's no checkpoints in this special stage. I actually got to see a horror movie where that happened once. It's a horror-ish comedy movie. It's called Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's about these two redneck fellows, these two just lovable country boys, and they go out to the woods for a weekend of hunting and cavorting. Cavorting? Is that something you do out in the woods? There's nowhere safe to stand in this level. Oh, they're not going to fire as long as I'm... Yeah, this is... to get up over this. Woo! That's what we need there. And the level's still not over. We have another one of these jerks. And then there's still more level. That fireball. You know what? Gotta hand it to him. Gotta hand it to him. He knew what he wanted, and he went for it. And he had the gusto. And... let's see if we can keep our goddamn mushroom this time. I have had a problem recently with some of my videos being not suitable for most advertisers. And I feel like they must have really intensified the standards for that. Because it used to be like you had to have hate speech or like intense use of the F word and the Q word on your channel in order to get that dubious honor of not being suitable for advertisers. But I've noticed a couple of my Let's Plays, like some of my older ones even, and the most recent episode of that podcast we did. Did you guys know that my friend McLean and I do a podcast? It's called That Podcast We Did. And we archive it here on this YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel, or if you just go to, you know what, I actually don't know if you can search for it just by typing in That Podcast We Did, because it's such a stupid name for a podcast. You might just get a list of generic, un-Brickroad podcasts that nobody wants to see. But anyway, yeah, my most recent episode of That Podcast We Did got flagged not suitable for most advertisers, and I can't run ads on that video, and I have no idea why. I had them do a manual review. There's a little button you click on YouTube that says manual review, and then somebody's at YouTube's job to watch the video and then make a decision, like, oh yeah, this is probably fine for most advertisers, we should put the ads back on. I was very... just flirting with that platform. Just kind of flirting with the idea of that platform is what I was doing there. The only thing I can think of is that one of the things we discussed in that episode is a YouTube show called Bandersnatch. And just saying that word a lot, twig some... oh, I actually need Yoshi for this level. I need Yoshi. Well. Everything's fine. So the trick of this level, the stupid gimmick of this level, is the timer is really tight. Like, it's easy to run out of time. But there are green apples you can eat that add some amount of time to the timer. But you can only make use of the apples if you have Yosh. And I think there's a Yosh in this. There is, but how do I get up to it? Perhaps you cannot. Excuse you! That was just rude. But yes, the word Bandersnatch, as in the name of this Netflix show we were discussing, has a kind of saucy word in it. Shoutouts to Josh Odom for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video and you want to see more, please tickle my thumb, leave a friendly comment, and ring my little bell.